All right, 5K, thank you for joining us. We are glad you're here. I'm going to just get a couple things situated here. All right, Kaden, glad you're here, buddy. We're going to start with our Mr. B's letter video so you can dance along with us as we start our reading time here. Ready?
Watch the letters get down. Watch the letters get down. Watch the letters get down. While we're making their sounds, watch the eagle act, act, act. Watch the beagle look, look, look. Watch the seagull. Watch the eagle. Watch the letters get down. Watch the letters get down. Watch the letters get down. While we're making this sound, watch the eagle, watch the M go, watch the G go, watch the H go, watch the letters get down, watch the letters get down, watch the letters get down. While we're making this sound, watch the I go, watch the J go, watch the K go, watch the L go, watch the letters get down, watch the letters get down, ooh, watch the letters get down, 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 ooh, watch the letters get down. While we're making their sounds, watch the M go, watch the N go, watch the O go, watch the P go, watch the Q go, watch the R go, watch the S go, watch the T go, watch the letters get down, watch the letters get down. Ooh, watch the letters get down. 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 Ooh, watch the letters get down. While we're making their sounds, watch the U go. Watch the V go. Watch the W go. Watch the X go. Watch the Y go. Watch the Z go. Watch the letters go. Oh, watch the letters go. Watch the letters get down. Watch the letters get down. Oh, watch the letters get down. 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 Ooh, watch the letters get down. While we're making their sounds, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, yeah, my A, B, C, next time, C, A, E, I, O, U. Yes, I know my vowels too. N, E, I, O, U. Yes, I know my vowels too. Watch the letters get down. Watch the letters get down. Ooh, watch the letters get down. Body making the sound. Watch the letters get down.
Perfect. You may have a seat. All right. If you can hear me, touch your shoulder. If you can hear me, touch your head. Perfect. All right. We're going to start with reviewing the letter sounds that we have been talking about in our Super Kid books. We're going to start with our newest letter. I need you to say this with me. I want you to think about things that start with the sounds on these cards. Ready? Here we go. The letter E says F, F, F. What's a word that starts with F? I love the strong silent hands. Matthew, what is it? elephant. Can you give me your best elephant sound? Woo! Yes. Here's the next one. Ready? Oops. The letter F says. What's the word that starts with F? Savannah. Fish. Good job. Next one. The letter D says D. What's the word that starts with D? Journey.
Dog.
Dog. Good. Do you know any dogs? Do you have any of your friends or your family have a dog?
Yeah, my Titi Jasmine got a dog.
What's the dog's name?
I think her name is Sparkles.
Sparkles. That's a cute name. Ready? The letter C says K. What's the word that starts with C that starts with the K sound? Kaylee.
A cat.
I said Kaylee. What's the word that starts with C? Okay. Do you know anybody who has a cat? Okay, well, you can keep asking. Ready? Here we go. The letter T says T. What's the word that starts with T and goes T at the beginning? Addison, you're being really strong. Thank you. Turtle. Good. Here's another one. The letter I says if. What's that fancy science name for a creepy crawly bug? For a bug. Sasha. No, I said instead of saying bug, what's the fancy science word that makes the if sound? If. Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand. You gotta work on that journey. If.
Insect.
Insect. Good job. Here's the next one. The letter S says. What's a word that starts with S and says?
Snake.
Delilah, thanks for working so hard at raising your hand. Sandwich. What's your favorite kind of sandwich? Turkey, ham, tuna, peanut butter jelly. All right. Ready? Here we go, girls. The letter O says ah. What's the word that starts with ah? Antonia. I need somebody else. Ah. I'm looking for a strong silent hand. Savannah. Oswald. Here we go. The letter G says g. What's your word that starts with g at the beginning of it? Kaylee.
Callie.
Raise your hand. Goat. Good. And last one. The letter A says eh. What's the word that starts with A? Tasha. Apples. Good. All right, friends, we are going to open up in our book to, I think it's page 12. Yep, we're going to listen to our song first. You're right. Okay. 5K. We are going to listen to our Annabetta song, and then we'll get into our page 12. Okay? So here we go.
Hello, my name is Annabetta. That starts with E. A brand new letter. If you say my name a couple of times, you'll see it's fun because it's rhyme. Annabetta, Blue. I'm just crazy about rhyming names and secret codes and riddles and puzzles and games. Yesterday, I got a big surprise, an extra special book with lots of puzzles to try. An envelope for Annabetta came in the mail, and a special present is what Annabetta got. Annabetta got so extremely excited that Annabetta opened it right on the spot. Everybody ready? Annabetta. Annabetta, you. Annabetta,
get into our work now. So you may open up to page 12 in your book. You'll need your pencil. Make sure that if you have your crayons nearby, that those are accessible as well. I love how quietly people are working. Let me pull this up for you. Today we're going to do some blending. Today we're going to do some blending of some words and some sounds, and we're going to do some reading. Our student-friendly learning target says, I will identify correct sentences after reading them. So that means that there are some pictures that we are going to have to match the sentences with the picture. Remember, they have to work together. The picture and the sentences have to make sense. They can't have one picture not go with the sentences and the words that are underneath it. So let's look at page 12. All right, I'm going to pull this up closer so my friends at home can see a little bit better. Okay. All right, friends, raise your hand if you are on page 12 for me. Great. Here on page 12, you are going to see a story that we are going to read. Each of the letters in these words are a different color. We have a special kind of mystery that we are going to have to solve on this page. What we're going to do is we're going to read the sentences. After we are done reading the sentences on page 12, we are going to look at the color code at the bottom. Okay? The color code at the bottom is going to have us spell out a word here to help finish the story or to help explain the story a little bit more. So we're going to start at the first line. I need you to put your finger on the first word. We're going to blend and read these sounds together. You don't need a pencil out right now. So just use your finger. We're going to touch each of these letters and blend these sounds together. Okay. Here we go. Blend with me. Ready? Ed. Again. Ed. G. At. Got. A. G. If. Gift. Does that make sense with the picture here? Ed got a gift? Yes, it does. And remember what that punctuation mark is called? That stop sign that says this is the end of my idea? What is that little dot called at the end of a sentence? Addison. A period. Great. Let's move on to the second line. Put your finger underneath the letter, and we're going to slide and read. Ready? It's the same name as before, so we don't have to get goofed up with a new name. Here we go. Ed, lift, ed, lifted. One more time. Lifted, it's, lid, off. Some of you picked the word off on my door as your sight word you wanted to read today. Off is the same kind of idea as odd. We don't say odd-da-da. We don't say off-a-fa. We just say that letter F one time. Read this sentence again. Ready? Put your finger on the word. You're going to slide and blend with me. Ed lifted its lid off. It's lid off. Huh. That must mean the lid on this box up here. Let's keep reading. Put your finger on the paper. We're going to slide and blend. Here we go. Ed at, sat, Ed sat. Okay, let's read the next sentence. Ready? Here we go. Ed slid. One more time. Ed slid. Huh. He sat and he slid. That doesn't make sense to me. We better keep reading. Let's read the next one. Ready? It is a asked gift. One more time. It is a fast gift. Make sure that your finger is tracking the words with us and they're touching the letters on the page, please. We need to now look at this color code here, and then we're going to read this last sentence. I want you to look at all of the letters that are up above in this section. What letter do you see mixed in all of this writing is orange? I'm looking for a strong silent hand. What letter is orange? Look in here. What letter do you see that's orange? Alea, what letter is orange? S. So I want you to take your pencil. I want you to write the letter S right above this orange box. The S is going to go right above the orange box. It's a lowercase s, so it's not going to be going past that yellow line. That vanilla line is the stopping point. Beautiful journey. What letter is green in that mixed up story up top? Matthew, what letter? In here, honey, what letter do you see is green? Yep, what is it? It's an L. Good. So I want you to put an L next to, or above, I should say, that green line or green box. Perfect. Writing. What? I'm putting them right here on the line. What letter do you see is kind of that pinkish red color? What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm liking the strong silent signals. This is what you need to do first, honey. What letter is that, Delilah? E. We're going to make a lowercase e. So remember, we go out, up, and around. What letter is the blue letter up above, all mixed up in here? Savannah. We said E for the red. We're looking for the blue now, honey. D. Good. Now we're going to read this together. So put your finger at the beginning of this sentence. We're going to find out what this mystery gift was. Ready? Read it with me. Put your finger on the page. Here we go. It is a... Now here's your letters you have to read. I hope you wrote them nicely. Sled. 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 Does that make sense if he can sit on it and he could go sledding or sliding on it? Yes. It would just slide right down the hill. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is you're going to circle the picture of the sled. Are we going to circle the first picture, the second picture, or the third picture? Raise your hand. I'm looking for kids to not blurt out. Delilah, what picture are we going to circle? First, second, or third? Second. This is the sled right here. You're going to circle that one. Okay. You're going to turn to page 13 now. Okay. We're going to do some more reading on this page. But you know what? Remember how I told you that words and sentences have to match the picture? One of these sentences goes with the picture. They're a team. They work together. But there's one sentence that does not work, and we have to cross it off. We're going to take our pencils, and we're going to put a line through it because we don't want to have words in there that are meant to be goofy or trip us up. Okay? So put your finger on the first word. We're going to read this. Over here on this part of your book, you're going to see the title. The title is the name of the story. So let's start over here and read the title of our story. Ready? Put your finger up here and read the story with me. Here we go. Ed slid. Slid. When we went outside on our snow mountain on Monday, wasn't it kind of fun to slip and fall and slide down that big snow mountain?
Yeah.
That's what our friend Ed is doing in this story. He's outside on his new sled, and we're going to find out what happens. So put your finger on the first line, and here we go. Ed slid fast. Again. Ed slid fast. He slid fast. Does that look like it could work with our picture? Does it look like he's going really fast and zooming down the hill?
Yeah.
I think so. Sometimes when you see those little squiggly lines on it, it's meant to show that they're traveling fast and quickly. We need to read the second sentence. Put your finger under the words and let's read. Ed slid fist. Can you make a fist for me? Make a fist for me. This is your fist. It's your hand. Does that make sense? You're going to slid fist. Can you slid fist just holding your hand shut?
No.
No, we need to cross one of these off. I need somebody to come up here and cross it off, either the top one or the bottom one. Which one does not make sense and we need to get rid of? I'm looking for strong, silent hands. Matthew, come on over here, and I want you to cross off the one that does not make sense that we need to get rid of. Great job, Matthew. If you agree with Matthew, say, yes, I do. Yep, he did it exactly right. He crossed off the sentence that does not make sense. Ed slid fist. That does not make sense. The first one, Ed slid fast. That one makes sense. Ooh, let's read this one now. Ready? Put your finger under the word. Oh, I'm looking for just a pair of eyes, 2 pairs of eyes. One more pair. Ready? Here we go. Put your finger on the paper. Here we go. Ed, read with me. Ed fell off. Read it again. Ed fell off. Does that look like he fell off his sled? Yeah, let's read to see what this one says. Here we go. Put your finger on the paper. Blend with me. Ed tell off. Which one makes sense?
Hey, teacher, could you slow down, please?
Which one matches the picture here? The first one or the second one? Haley.
Please.
No, I just said which one makes sense. The first one or the second one? We don't have a middle one, honey. We have a first and we have a second. The second one makes sense? The second one is what? Is that one that makes sense, or do we need to get rid of it? Yep, we're going to get rid of it. So put a line through it. You can cross that off. We're going to cross. Oh, honey, we're only crossing off the bottom one. We're not crossing off both of them. So make sure that your little lines are not too big because we can't get rid of both of them. All right, let's read this one. Ready? Here we go. Put your finger on the first letter of the first word. It's that boy's name. Here we go. Read with me. Ed, ill, still, slid, at, fat. Huh. That's a silly thing to say. I don't know if I've ever heard that. We better read the second one. Let's find out what this one says, if that makes sense. Ready? Fingers on the page. Blend with me. Ready? Ed, ill, still, slid, fast. Which one makes sense? Which one do we need to keep? Do we need to keep the first one, or do we need to keep the second one? Matthew, we are going to keep the second one. Can you read it for us, Matthew? Ed. Oh, we've missed this word. Let's try this one again. Ill, still, id. Try this again, Matthew. Slid. Now this word. Asked. What's the word, Matthew? Ed still slid fast. Yes, so we're going to take our pencil. You can cross that one off.
The top one down.
Let's do the bottom one. Let's all read this together. Ready? Eyes are on me, fingers on your paper. I need you to be watching and blending. Fingers on your page. Top sentence. Here we go. Ed slid off a cliff. Can somebody explain to us what is a cliff?
No.
Addison, what's a cliff? Yeah, you know what? A cliff could be just like a part of a hill that just like drops off. And if you look at the picture, look at how this hill, it's not a gradual slope. It just like stops. So if you've ever been hiking somewhere, you'll see that sometimes there are these cliffs. And if you get too close, you could fall a long ways down. So you've got to be watching where you step so you don't fall off that cliff. Luckily for our friend Ed, it was padded with snow and he's okay. Let's read the last sentence. Put your finger on the word and read the last sentence with me. Here we go. Ed slid off a cat. Which sentence should we put a line through? Are we going to put a line through the first one or the second one? Alea, which one are we going to put a line through? The second one. Ed slid off a cat. Does that make sense? Does that match the picture over here? No. So put a line through that sentence. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the computer back a little bit, and I'm going to ask for volunteers somebody who would like to come up and be our guest reader, you're going to have to read the sentence. I'm not going to read it for you. You're going to do the blending just like we do. So if you see the letter E, you're going to say ed, and you're going to read the whole sentence by yourself. Who would like to be my guest reader? And you can pick whichever sentence you want. It can be from the first box, the second box, the third box, or the fourth box. Addison, why don't you come grab a pointer here?
Yeah.
There you go, right here. And you can read, and we're going to give you a round of applause when she is done. All right, take it away, my dear.
And the sled.
And now you have one last word. The word that starts with the letter F at the end of your sentence. You have Ed still slid, but you have the letter F word. Yep, so read that one.
And still slid fast.
Yes, if you agree with Addison, give her a round of applause. Great job, take a bow. That was wonderful. Do I have somebody else who wants to come up and read for me? Tasha, you can read. I love it that people want to read. All right, so you can't pick the one that my friend Addison just read for me. Puzzles can go in your puzzle boxes. You don't need those anymore.
I'm not doing nothing.
Okay, pencils are still. I'm sorry, pencils are still. We're gonna let our friend Haja read. Can you start again? I'm sorry, Haja. Really read it loud.
E
Ed.
the
What was his name? What was his name? Ed. Ed. His name matches right here. His name is Ed. Ed. Id. Slid. Off. Off. A. If. Lift. Good. If you agree with Haja, say, great job, Haja. There you are. All right. Kindergarten, did we meet our student-friendly learning target of identifying the correct sentences in a story? Yes, we did. Great job. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. My friends at home, that's Kaden, Leah, and Perry. This is recorded for my other friends, so I will see you guys on Tuesday for our next live stream. Bye-bye.